Hey, it's his sister Roland. All I need is a few minutes.
Kai Cenat claimed he was going to give away a large number of PlayStation 5 consoles to those who showed up, but NYPD confirms the streamer did not get the required permits to hold this event. Many in the crowd got violent when it became clear the streamer did not actually have the gaming consoles to give away. Police there say it spiraled into a dangerous situation.
So, as you heard from the news, Kai Cenat put together this gathering in Manhattan, New York. I believe this is located Union Square. It's like an open area. They have a lot of activities. There's restaurants and different local produce you could buy. There's apartments. And he decided to give a giveaway in this area. However, it was not only Kai Cenat. It's because he has the bigger name. His name is being pushed over, but it was also Duke Fanum and Agent Double O Amp. I think that's what his name is, but they call him Agent. So it was all four of them that put together this event, but Kai Cenat has the bigger name. So that's why his name is being pushed, as the only person responsible for this event. So not too long ago, I think it was like 3 months ago, I did a video on Kai Cenat when he was banned off Twitch, and I was giving my opinion. And one of the things I did say, if he does have the right people around him, his success will endure. Now with this, that's solidifying that he does not have the right people around him. Because if you have done events before, there are certain things that you have to do. You have to dot your I's and cross your T's. So the police said he did not have the proper permits. The police is not going to get the permits. The permits come from and sometimes you have to go through the state. You may have to go through the county. May have to go to the city and different municipalities. Like some places have villages, towns, and boroughs. Like I believe in New York. So certain things you may have to get several permits, especially a large gathering, if he wanted to do that, which didn't even make sense anyway, because what did it cost? What did it cost to get these PlayStations? What was the cost? I know he might say that, oh, I don't need anything, I'm rich and stuff like that. But that's the reason a lot of these stuff happened. Listen, that is the reason why this mayhem happened. It didn't cost these kids anything. And the majority of his fan base is young kids. The majority of it. It's not all, but the majority of his fan base is kids. These are kids that are growing up, that are not being raised. These are kids that are very entitled. These are kids, like Pastor G. Craig says, and we have seen, they defy all order. So you have to know who you're dealing with. So when you know who you're dealing with, the type of people you may encounter, you have to be vigilant. You have to plan better. So he was supposed to get certain permits. Yes, the police say, because the police didn't, they got wind of this, I believe, on social media, because the police be watching people on social media. So, but they didn't, I don't believe they anticipated it would be on this great, on this level. Even him, I think like my daughter said, he underestimated his fame. He underestimated, how many people rock with him. Well, some would rock with him. He underestimated that. And the news did also say that, he was supposed to get PlayStations, and it became evident that he didn't have the PlayStations. To me, I don't think that he didn't have it. I could be wrong. I think he didn't have enough for the amount of people that was there. And then he probably did have it too. And then when he saw all of these people, the PlayStations could have been in the, I think they had a limo, could have been in the limo. But when he saw the amount of people, they probably is like, I don't think we're gonna be able to give out, these PlayStations. Or they probably was, trying to figure out how they was doing it because he was in the midst of the fans, all of them, Duke, Fanum, Agent, Kai, all of them was in the midst of all this mayhem. Because when the police was arrested, they had to go in the crowd to get them. So when they saw all of this crowd, in my opinion, they probably was, like I said before, trying to figure out how are they going to do that. But they still wanted to meet the different people that had came out to support them. Now, we even with Jesus, looking at Jesus, Jesus had 12 disciples that were close to him. In the midst of those 12, there was one that was a Judas. That was a Judas that betrayed him, right? And it's believed that there were like 10,000 people, 10,000 of his fans that showed up. I think it was more than that, but let's say it was 10,000 people. So 10,000 people, if 12, let's take every group of 12, if one of them there's a Judas, that's going to cause all this mayhem or whatever. That's like over 833, right? I think over 833 people. That's more than enough people to cause mayhem. And then this generation is a bunch of followers because they're not being raised. So they tend to follow, they tend to be followers. It's a bunch of them that's just a bunch of followers and stuff like that. They don't do that. They just go with the crowd. Nobody stand on them. Not a lot of them are able to stand on their own because they don't want to be singled out. They want to, blend in because nobody teaches them you're a leader. You're not supposed to follow everybody. Yes, a leader is supposed to follow, but you cannot follow everybody. So all these kids follow, and so they may, rock with Kai Cenat. They may like him and stuff like that, but say, hey, if everybody is doing all kind of ratchet stuff and illegal stuff and destroying stuff and being destructive and chaotic, I'm gonna follow. So because you had a bunch of people that there was people that was kicking cars and stuff like that, and you can tell the kid, since everybody was doing, oh, let me kick it too. Bunch of followers. So this is the type of people. This was this was the type of kids that was there, and then all of these kids, people talking about Kai Cenat, where are the parents? Well, these parents don't care anyway. That's a wrong question to ask. These parents don't care. A lot of these parents don't care. Some parents probably didn't even know their kids was gonna be in Square doing all this foolishness. But some parents really don't care. So with parents that don't care are not raising these kids, and these are some of the kids that showed up, and then you have over 833 Judases in the midst of that. And suppose he was giving out, he started to give out the PlayStations, and maybe people, a lot of this generation is very entitled and arrogant too. Maybe he wasn't moving fast enough or whatever, or they felt like they wasn't gonna. It seemed that they wasn't gonna get a PlayStation, so they started all kind of foolishness. Because why? It did not cost them anything. What did it cost them? I mean, why not charge? What is wrong with charging? Hey, yes, you have your fan base is a bunch of kids. You thinking these kids, oh, they probably don't have any money or whatever. I don't want to be charging. That's what you think. These kids, if they want to pay for something, they will pay. Trust me. They will go work extra shifts. They don't even like to work. They work extra shifts to do what they need to do. You underestimate. Sometimes we underestimate these kids. When they want to do something, when they want to get something, they will pay for it. They'll find a way to pay for it. Some of them will even do illegal stuff to pay for it. So you didn't charge anybody anything, whether it was $50, $75, at least so it cost them something. So you have like a list just in case somebody want to cause some type of do some type of foolishness. You have hate. You could track it. Yeah, it was this guy. And even if you wanted to give out, for people that rock with you that probably don't have the money, and you wanted to give out free tickets, it still should cost them. Hey, you need to answer. If you a fan of mine, you should be able to answer certain questions about me. But it didn't cost them anything. It didn't cost them anything, and they were entitled. Like, how dare you not pass out the PlayStations? How dare you take long to pass out the PlayStations? How dare you not bring PlayStations for everybody that's there? Entitlement. So that's where we get caught up here. Now he may have wanted to cause chaos because he posted this. Somebody posted this on his page. He may have wanted to cause chaos, but of course it's gonna cost you if that's what he wanted to do. But to me, I saw somebody that he came from nothing and now he has so much because of certain people that supported him. Just last year, he was able to move his family out of the hood and bought his mother, a new home paid off in full. So maybe he wanted to do all this to thank his fans for making him who he is right now. Because, he made history on Twitch not too long ago with streaming every day. And he became the number one Twitch streamer in history. So maybe he wanted to, thank his fans, for rocking with him. But he does not have the right people around him. Sometimes you need people you know, that's not going to suck up to you. You don't need all these yes men and yes women around you. Sometimes you need people that's going to tell you as it is. Even if they are imperial, you need people like that. You need people that's invested in the longevity of your success, and it's not there because they want to be seen with you. They want everybody to know that you guys are friends. Y'all been friends from elementary. Y'all was friends from middle school and stuff like that. Look at you in their crew and stuff like that. You part of the crew, you part of the posse. You don't need people. You need people that's invested in the longevity of your success. Even though he may have wanted to do something like that, maybe he wanted to shut it down and cause all this chaos. But for you to don't have anybody besides you tell you, man, I don't think you should do that, man. You got too much right. You got too much to lose, man. You less if you want to do a fan up. This is what fan meetup. This is what we could do. This is how we should go about doing it, and make sure you get the proper permits and things that you have to do. You have to do that. And then I had to say this too, because the police says that they are not against fans. I mean, you young people having fun and stuff like that. But even the police, before the police can get security, because they was like, if they had knew beforehand, they would have been able to help and different things like that, and put security measures in place so everything goes well. But before the police does anything, it has to go through the city or the state or the county or whatever it may be, or whatever municipality. Now, if you have done any of these type of events where you need permits, sometimes some of these city workers, they're very nasty. They make things very difficult. They make things very difficult. That's why if you're going to do something like that, you need time. You need a lot of time to plan these events. Look how last month, where a lot of Haitian people came together to do that march, and it was a lot of people. There are cities that had a lot of people, but before they did it, they weeks prior, they started to get everything that they needed to do so that they could were able to do this march. Obviously, this did not happen in this case. Just in case you encounter, one of those mean city workers that make it difficult for you to get your permit, you would be able to overcome that. But that didn't even happen. So yes, so now the city of New York and the police department had to force themselves, to get control of these unruly kids. These kids were very, you should see how, yes, the I mean, they were put in a very, very bad situation. The city of New York, the police department was put in a very bad situation. And some of these kids are very, very difficult. They try probably, to arrest people in a peaceful manner, but sometimes that that was in some cases that was impossible because these kids defy all order. They have no respect for authority. And this is the type of people, this is the type of kids that follow a lot of these streamers, unfortunately. That's why you have to put stuff in place where it costs you. You already so if you want to act a fool, you already paid 50, 75, 100, $200. Now it's gonna cost you your freedom. But nothing was put in place because it was not planned. It was at the spur of the moment or whatever, no planning. And now it's gonna cost you some way, somehow. I think he should have to, whether he did it um to cause chaos, whether he did it not to cause chaos, but you have to be very careful, mindful of the influence that you have as a social media influence. He should pay a hefty fee. He should pay a very hefty fee because every decision that you make, there is a consequence. And we cannot control the consequence. That's why you have to teach your kids. If people were raising their kids, a lot of kids would know that, but people don't raise their kids. Anyway, you have to know every decision that you make has a consequence. And it should cost him. Whether, he pay a hefty fine, have to do some community service, jail time. I don't know. I'm not on that, but he should pay. There should be a cost. He should have to pay that. But jail time, well, he's already, spending some time. He spent a few hours or whatever. He probably bonded out already. I'm not sure. But he should pay the cost for getting this thing together and not putting any thought into it. Anyway, we'll see how everything works out, what statement he's going to make, if he's going to make a statement, if he's going to learn from that. But hopefully, other people, social media influencers, if you're going to do something like that, make sure you cross your T's and dot your I's and have put everything in place so that something like this does not happen. Anyway, that's all I have to say on the situation. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.